Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Wednesday, June the 7th, 2017. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market, macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. We do create multiple hypotheses, basically four main hypotheses, two which is our two weighted ones and then our two expansion ones. We do this in order to have a plan in place. We do not know what the market's going to do. We can only plan for what the market shows us and then execute on the plan that best shows what the market is doing. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website. There's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to during the pre-market session, and then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the trading day. Read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please treat your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Okay, so take a look at the news. It's not a lot of news today. We did have Canadian building permits out at 8:30 Eastern, and they were a big miss, 0.2 versus 2.4 as expected. A little bit better than prior, though. The big one today, of course, will be the crude inventories at 10:30 Eastern, expected a draw of minus 3.1. Previous was minus 6.4. This was a big draw that was not expected. 3 o'clock, we've got consumer credit. Just again, we're now leading into tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the big day. We've got the ECB. Well, let's bring up tomorrow's news so you can see. We've got the parliamentary elections, Great Britain's elections. That's going to be huge. But we also have the minimum bid rate and Draghi speaking during the ECB press conference. We've got unemployment claims. We've got Bank of Canada financial system review. We've got the Bank of Canada Governor Pelosi speaking. And then we also have Comey speaking and its rollover. So, it's really going to be quite a day tomorrow. So get some rest. I'm probably going to go into a trade marathon starting in tonight's Globex. I'll probably be up and trade right through to Thursday's Globex as well. And then I'll probably take Friday off depending on how I feel. Because I think there's going to be some opportunities tomorrow. But as always, you got to keep your wrist tight because it is going to get very, very hairy tomorrow. Today, well, let's talk about today. Let's talk about yesterday. So yesterday, our main hypothesis was Hypo 1 was an open auction out of range, a move up and failure somewhere up in here, and a rotation back down to the 27, chop around here, and then push through to the 24. Hypo 2 was an open auction out of range, a move down to 27 or down to 24, and then rotation up and come inside of the prior day and come up and take out the naked VPOC. Hypo 3 was a open auction out of range and basically chopped sideways, or I think it was Hypo 4, I'm sorry, it was Hypo 4. Hypo 3 was a continuation day down. But it was actually Hypo 4 that played out. We basically, we started to play out Hypo 1 and, it looked like they were going to be doing Hypo 1. And then I made a statement, and then when we rotated back up and rejected the range yet again, that we were likely just going to go sideways and go into Hypo 3. So we really had Hypo 1 that shifted over to Hypo 4, and we just drifted sideways and created that balance, okay, in around that 29.30 area. Even though our VPOC didn't shift. I mean, this is a pretty ugly looking profile. I mean, we've been having some some just really what I can only describe as fugly profiles. I mean, look at this. This is, triple distribution, but very boxy, not a lot of range. And, value didn't shift down on the shift below. The real value right now or balance is still down here in the 29.50 area. We'll talk about that in just a couple minutes. Now, I like to start my day with a simple candlestick chart. I start on the monthly. I use a 9 EMA, 20 SMA. I'm looking at where we are within the trend in the different time frames. Beautiful trend, still very strong to the upside on the monthly. On the weekly, same thing. We are still in an inside week. We are 3 ticks below the high, all-time high of 24.39.75. So this still is an inside week. And if it ends up as an inside week, then we get a Mr. Sneaky on the weekly and be looking for a pullback towards the 9 EMA. But right now, the trend is very much up on the weekly, and even if we come back to the 9 EMA, we can certainly bounce off of it. On the daily, we do have the FUBAR Mr. Sneaky on the daily with the technical gap as well. We started moving down yesterday. So far, they're holding above the prior day low. That's going to be a key for us to watch this this overnight low that we left alone yesterday in the RTH session at the 24, 26, 25. That is also our week low, okay, in terms of the weekly range. And to move down to the 9 EMA is going to take us down into the 24, 25 area, and we've got that naked VPOC down there at 24.75. But the trend again is still intact. Going to the intraday, we're gone into consolidation. We are below the 9 and the 20 right now, but there's no trend started yet. Just sideways consolidation in a bit of a symmetrical triangle as we consolidate for the next move out of the short-term balance that we're finding here. Same thing in the 1 hour, except that we're above the 9 and the 20. But again, we're in this consolidation area. Going to the 30-minute, you can see that we've got an upward trend starting on the 30-minute. It's not confirming yet with the moving averages, but you can see we've got higher lows, okay, and higher highs, and we are in a channel moving upward on the 30-minute. On the 15-minute, basically the same thing. They're just chopping it around, but the trend is starting to go to the upside. And then the 15-minute, a little bit of more consolidation. So as we move down in the smaller time frames, it's not giving us a lot of information yet moving into the day. As we look at the bigger picture, the structure, you can see that we had this balance created in around the 1350. Talk about breakout of balance, create price acceptance, get continuation with the breakout of this smaller time frame balance. Then we come up, put in the new all-time high, try to hold value up at the 3650. We're unable to do that. We come down, okay, and come down and test the value area low, and where the balance was once we broke out here at the 2950, the microcomposite HVN that was created just prior to the continuation and the move up into the new all-time highs. Still not a lot to guide us up here. We've kind of got a bit of almost a quad distribution. I would call it a double distribution, but the lower distribution having undetermined fair value between 3250, the 31 area, and the 2950. The key is going to be the LVN, the CLVN between at 34. That's going to be our over-under line today. Now, we do have, okay, these wicks that have been created, and very much could see us get stuck in this area, in this lower distribution below 34 and above 29 as we chop around in this wick and mature the auction to determine fair value between this area of undetermined fair value. You've got three price acceptance levels. What is going to become the dominant and remain the dominant? Right now the dominant is 29.50, but we're seeing some price acceptance at both the 32. Let me expand this out a little bit more so you can see that and bring this up. So 32.75 and 31, and you've got these LVNs in between, but they're really not usable LVNs because they're so tight within this little distribution zone, and we're likely to chop in here today. Key area to watch is going to be the break below the week low at the now it's 27 on the RTH. It's 26.25 for the weekly. So I'm going to be using 26.25, and below that I'm looking for that 24.75 to get taken out, that naked VPOC from the breakout day, and a move down towards the 50% of the significant breakout candle, which is at 21.75. And we've got a lot of repair work to do here. And I want to show you that repair work based on the market profile. You can see that we've got singles down at the 26.75 and the 21.25 and the 17.75. And the 17.75 is significant because that was our prior resistance, our prior all-time high before making this breakout move and going into new highs out of that balance. So we do have repair work and singles to be repaired to the downside. I'm still expecting to get taken out. Now, do they get taken out before we go back up into the 36, 37 area? I don't know. That's the quandary with trading. Nobody can tell you what's going to happen. We just have to trade, as Marvin always says, trade one level at a time and use the areas of price acceptance and rejection as our guide. So going to the overnight session. Overnight session, again, a very boxy looking profile. There's no real strong kurtosis. We just got a VPOC shift from down here at the 29.75 up into the 31.75. So value is being accepted a little bit higher, but I mean, this is very boxy looking, coming up into where the VPOC was in the RTH session yesterday. Inventory is basically pretty neutral right now. We spent a fair amount of time below the close and above the close from yesterday. The close from yesterday being 24.30.75. So pretty neutral volume. I think that we're most likely, or probably, I don't know. My guess is we're probably going to see a balanced day, and why I'm going to be watching how we trade with inside the wick there, because I think that's going to be key. So let's start taking our numbers over from our Globex session and putting them into our trade chart, our relative volume chart. Our overnight high is 33.25, which is one tick below the value area from yesterday, and 28.25 is our overnight low, which is 3 ticks below the value. So we remained, for the most part, inside of value last night and chopping back and forth between these 3 undetermined fair value areas with these LVNs at 29.75 and at the 31.75. And personally, this, I look at this and I say, is that tradable? I say, nay, it is not. So what am I doing? I'm shifting this down, and I'm simply going to play the value area today, because I'm expecting chop in this area. I don't want to get chopped up, so I can't use the LVNs. They're not usable for me because we have undetermined fair value. So I would prefer to make this a no trade zone and trade from the outside of value from yesterday and looking to come in and trade towards these targets. And the target will be, the main target obviously is the naked depot from yesterday, but there's the 3075 as well. And then below we have the 2950 microcomposite HVN, but I think the overnight low would be challenged if we get below the value or break below value. So I'll be looking to take out that 28 and a quarter and then come down to the 27 as a target and use the week low as 26 and a quarter as a add-on area. If we break below there, then we've got a good move down to the 24.75, or we could bounce off of there. So I want to scale if I'm short, running short, I want to scale at 27 to make sure that I get filled. You might even want to go 27 and a quarter and then look for possible bounce at the 26 and a quarter or continuation down towards the 24.75 and the 21.75. And then the key line in the sand is the 17.75 with the 16 as a trade area. Our daily ATR is running at 1506. That's the 20 period full session daily ATR. So off of the high overnight of the 33 and a quarter, our average true range downside target is down here at 18 and a quarter. So we have range capabilities to come down here, okay, and test that previous all-time high at the 17.75. Our upside daily ATR target is all the way up at 43 and a quarter off of the low of 28 and a quarter. So we have range capabilities to go up and make new all-time highs. That's why I don't want to get any biased in my mind other than looking for rotational and then checking for breakouts of this value and breakouts of the range. I will be watching the 3550, and I'll be shifting the 3750 up into the 39 and incorporating the 39.75 all-time high. And the target above the range will be the 37 and a quarter naked depot that we left up there above. There's actually a target too at 36.50, but yeah, I'm going to put it in so it's recognized. 36.50. Just bring this down slightly. Okay, so hypotheses. We're currently trading inside of range, inside of value. So I'm looking for an open auction in range. I'm looking for wide rotations on the open today, but ultimately I'm looking for them to move down into the 30.75, okay, possibly push through to the lower side of value and possible takeout. But I'm looking for responsive buying to come in, and I'm looking for a move back towards that 36. And I'm looking for sideways rotation, okay, today between the 37 and a quarter and the 29.50 as we get stuck in this wick. That is my primary hypothesis today. My secondary hypothesis is an open auction in range, a move up, take out the overnight high, come up and test yesterday's range high, push through, come up into the 37 and a quarter, okay, and then find some responsive sellers, rotate us back down and chop between the 39.75 and the 33 area, and then push up and get a late day probe up to take out the new the all-time high and come up and close somewhere up here. That's hypo 2. Hypo 3 is an open auction in range, failure to take out the overnight low, leave that overnight low alone again, find initiative buyers, rotate up, chop around in the 36.50 area, and then push through up and come up into the 40 area and break into the 40, 43, 44, 45 area, maybe even come up into that 49 as a continuation day. It's, it's a low probability. I think the fireworks are going to be tomorrow, but I've got to consider that. And then last but not least is an open auction in range, failure to take out the 37 and a quarter, maybe a false breakout, then see responsive sellers come down, chop around the 29.50 area, and then fail and come down into the 24.75 and push through down into the 21.75 with a possible late day probe to test that former all-time high and come down and test that daily the daily 9 EMA, which is down here, to close that gap down here in the 23.50 area and take out that naked V pocket, 24.75. I think it's going to be a tough day to trade, gang. I think there's going to be a lot of rotations. I think they're going to be rather wide. You're going to have two sides fighting, and just be careful. Be very careful. Taking a look at gold. We are finding some balance right here up at the 95 area. We've come back a little bit. We've made a pretty strong move. They found some resistance at the LVN, the CLVN, I should say, at the 1298 area. They've sold off a bit. Gold, I'm expecting to chop again. Waiting on tomorrow, between the 95 and the 90 area with a possible move back towards the 83.70 area. Do I think that the cup and handle move is done? The primary target was 95.40. We hit it. Actually, let me just bring that up so we can just show it. So we put this in the room on April 25th. Okay, longer time frame cup and handle. I said this was a beautiful, beautiful cup and handle. Perfect setup. The first target was 83.70. We hit that on Monday, I believe. And then yesterday, we hit our main target, our primary target at 95.4. And then our extended target is 13.14.40. Now, extended targets for me, the 100% extensions are always bonus. My primary target is always the higher probability target of the 61.8 extension. But does that mean that we won't go up to the 13.14? I believe we will. I just don't think we're going to do it right away. We could do it on the news, in the next couple days. We don't know. But again, I just want to point out that there is still the extended target out there, but I consider this bonus. Do I think that, coming up to the 98 area and not testing the 1300, I think they're going to test the 1300. Just a lot of times they come up and they tickle the longs, get them sucked in, and then punish them by bringing it down and getting a larger rotation down than expected. Anyway, that's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.